No way this just happened. The Boston Celtics, cruising confidently through the summer league, just got hit with a dose of reality in Las Vegas. Their perfect run came to a halt after a hard-fought loss to a gritty and aggressive Miami Heat squad. It wasn't the outcome fans wanted, but if you watch closely, you saw flashes of promise, raw energy, and real upside from a few guys who are not only auditioning for a spot in the NBA, but specifically aiming to break into Joe Mazzulla's rotation on that highly competitive Celtics roster. The game had everything: big runs, wild swings, clutch buckets, and even an ejection that lit up the building. It's one of those matchups that reminds you why Summer League is more than just preseason ball. It's about identity, grit, and proving that you belong. And while the Celtics ultimately fell short, losing by just 4 points in a thrilling 100-96 battle, they didn't go down without showing fight. At one point in the fourth quarter, they even held the lead, but late game execution and Miami's hot shooting down the stretch tilted the scales. Now, for those of you who missed the game or are just catching up, here's the full breakdown of everything you need to know. Who stepped up, who made noise, and who might have raised a few eyebrows in Boston's front office. Let's kick it off with Jordan Walsh. This dude has been a leader for the Celtics Summer League squad. You can tell he's matured since last year. He's more composed, more deliberate in his decisions, and showing that he understands the game on both ends. Early in the game, he had a silky smooth Euro step finish that got the crowd buzzing. But that wasn't the only thing that made headlines. He also got into a bit of a heated exchange with Eric Stevenson, which at first seemed like just the usual trash talk and competitive spirit you expect in games like this. However, the very next possession, Walsh got into another altercation, this time with Pelle Larsson. Things escalated, and before you knew it, Jordan was ejected from the game. Now say what you want about that moment. Some might call it immature, others might say it's part of growing pains. But the fire he showed is something coaches love. You want guys who care, who compete, who fight. And even though he got tossed, Jordan's overall performance in that first half had already left a mark. He was locking up on defense, staying disciplined on the perimeter, and providing that two-way wing presence that every NBA team craves. It's just Summer League, sure, but Walsh is showing that he's got the tools, and more importantly, the mindset to make an impact when the games really start to count. Then we got Baylor Shireman. And man, let me tell you, this might have been his best game in green so far. Don't let the box score fool you. The numbers weren't pretty. He shot something like 4 for 12 overall and didn't light it up from deep. But that doesn't tell the full story. Baylor played with poise. He was confident, he was aggressive, and he was clearly trying to find his rhythm. You could see it in the way he pulled up with no hesitation, even when the shots didn't fall. That's the kind of mindset you need from a shooter, especially when trying to carve out a role on a playoff contender. What really stood out, though, was his feel for the game. Running pick and pops with Kenneth Lofton Jr., reading the defense, making the right passes, he looked like a guy who understands the offense and can run it when needed. There was one sequence where he ran a screen, made the right read, and found Wenyen Gabriel, who was cutting to the basket for a clean finish. It's those kinds of small plays that show you this guy has real potential to be more than just a spot-up shooter. Now, speaking of guys trying to find their rhythm, let's talk about Hugo Gonzalez. This one was a bit of a mixed bag. In the first half, he looked a little lost. He missed his first 5 shots, seemed frustrated with the officiating, and couldn't quite get into the flow. You could see the body language shift. Hands on his hips, some words exchanged with the refs, and just overall not the kind of composure you want to see. But give credit where it's due. In the second half, Hugo settled in. He knocked down an ABT, couple of threes, made a few smart cuts, and looked much more like the guy we saw in the earlier Summer League games. Now, let's be honest, he's not going to be asked to run the offense on the real Celtics roster. This Summer League stint is about expanding his game, testing his limits, and seeing what he can do with the ball in his hands. The turnovers are there, the growing pains are real, but there's also a ton of upside. Hugo is crafty. He moves well without the ball. He has great instincts. And once he accepts his role as an off-ball contributor, rather than trying to be a floor general, I think he could be a real asset. Back to Shireman for a second, because his role could evolve too. We know what he can do from beyond the arc. And we've seen glimpses of that microwave scoring ability. But when the shot isn't falling and it hasn't been falling consistently yet, what else can he do? That's the question. And the answer might just be enough to keep him around. The vision, the passing, the willingness to move without the ball. Those are all things that can earn a guy minutes, especially on a team like Boston that thrives on ball movement and unselfish play. Now let's shift to the front court, starting with Charles Bassey. If there's one guy on this roster that looks like he's ready for a real NBA role, it's him. This man is just too good for Summer League. He's strong, he's mobile, and he's got a natural nose for the ball. Whether it's rebounding, rim protection, or running the floor, Bassey does it all with purpose. In this game, he went head-to-head with Kayla Ware, a talented young big with NBA experience, and more than held his own. He's already racked up multiple double-doubles, and today he once again looked like someone who belongs on an NBA court. Not just as a bench warmer, but as a legitimate rotation player. And then we've got Max Schulger. This kid is a pest in the best way possible. He didn't score from the field in this one, but he knocked down all 6 of his free throws and brought that relentless defensive pressure that makes you take notice. It's that VCU toughness, that aggressive full court, in-your-face type of energy that makes opposing guards uncomfortable. You put him next to a guy like Ugo or Baylor, and suddenly you've got a backcourt that's going to fight for every inch of the court. Even if Schulger's offensive game still needs polish, he's not hitting shots yet and probably needs to refine his handle a bit. His defensive motor and intensity might be enough to earn him a 2-way contract. With J.D. Davison moving on and no clear backup floor general for the main Celtics, Schulger could slide into that role seamlessly. He's already shown he can run pick and rolls with the bigs, and he plays with the kind of effort that coaches absolutely love. Now, let's go a little deeper into the bench because there was still some moments worth highlighting. Isaiah Wong, who I thought had the potential to be the breakout star of this summer league, hasn't quite found his rhythm. He's shown flashes, some quick drives here, a creative finish there, but the consistency just isn't there yet. The shot's not falling, and it feels like he's still trying to figure out where he fits in the offense. That said, the talent is clearly there. He just needs time. Jalen Bridges had a quieter game compared to his previous outing. He did the little things, setting solid screens, rotating on defense, but nothing that really popped off the screen. Still, his plus-minus was strong, and he contributed to the Celtics' push in the second half. Miles Norris, on the other hand, came out firing. He launched 11 shots, connected on a couple of threes, and had a personal 6-point run that helped spark a bit of a rally in the third quarter. You can tell he wants to be that stretch wing, and with a little more consistency, he might just get that chance. Probably in the G League, but who knows? Kendall Brown brought some solid minutes off the bench, showing off his athleticism with timely backdoor cuts and finishing lobs. He played that hybrid 4/5 role, giving the Celtics a little versatility. Nothing flashy, but very effective in his role. And finally, Kenneth Lofton Jr., he's always going to bring that bruising bully ball style of play. In the first summer league game, it looked like he was trying to play hero ball, taking it coast to coast, forcing up shots, trying to prove something. But today, much calmer, more team-oriented. He played well in the pick and roll with Baylor, finished around the rim, and showed that when he stays within himself, he can be a very valuable contributor. The guy's a walking mismatch, and if he buys into a role, he could be an important piece for the main Celtics this season. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Whispers are starting to echo through the halls of TD Garden, and they're carrying a new name, MAXIME RAYNAUD. The 7-foot French-Swiss standout from Stanford has been drawing attention, and sources close to the situation hint that the Boston Celtics could be eyeing him as a potential addition to their roster. Though nothing is official, the buzz is getting louder, and where there's smoke, there's often fire. RAYNAUD, known for his rare blend of size and agility, has developed a reputation in the Pac-12 and 12 for being more than just a big man in the paint. His versatility, the ability to stretch the floor, handle the ball, and play both ends effectively, fits neatly into Boston's evolving philosophy. With a team that thrives on smart switch-heavy defense and a multifaceted offense, Player like RAYNAUD could add valuable depth behind Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford while offering long-term upside. Insiders have pointed to the Celtics' growing interest in international talent. And RAYNAUD, who averaged a near double-double last season and showcased consistent growth in his game, fits that mold perfectly. Scouts reportedly admire his high basketball IQ and his fluid transition play. Rare traits for a player of his stature. Could Brad Stevens and his front office see RAYNAUD as a developmental gem, someone who can be molded under the guidance of Boston's veteran core? Of course, this is still firmly in the realm of speculation. RAYNAUD has not declared intentions publicly, and there are conflicting reports about whether he plans to stay another year at Stanford or test the NBA waters fully. But if the Celtics are indeed circling, it wouldn't be the first time Boston made a quiet, calculated move that later proved pivotal. For now, it remains a murmur, but fans and analysts alike will be watching closely to see if MAXIME RAYNAUD's path leads him to the parquet floor in green and white. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.